Hey y'all, I'm Chris. This is your 2022 Airstream Bambi 20 front bed. We're gonna start right here. We're gonna pull the propane cover off so we can see a little better. Set that aside. Open up this front solar guard. I'll just reach up on either side here and level it out. So on this Bambi, the front window is going to open outward. The solar guard is going to block that. So you're going to have to come out here first in order to open the window from the inside. All the rest of the windows just kind of crank open on the Bambis, but this one has latches and little stalks to help you open it. I do want to mention that they tend to stick to the rubber gasket in the summers. So if you've undone the latches and you're pushing on the stalks, if it doesn't open readily, don't force it. If you push on that too hard, you could end up shattering the window. Come outside with an old credit card, plastic scraper, maybe even the end of your finger. Come right around the bottom edge, free it from that gasket, and then you'll be able to open it from the inside. Down below that, we've got a dual battery box. In here we've installed AGM batteries. AGM batteries are maintenance free, they are sealed, so you don't have to worry about checking the water level. It's also going to allow you to plug it in at your storage site if you have that option without fear of that charge drying your batteries out. In here we have a single 15 amp blade fuse for the solar plug, so you can add a portable solar panel and help keep your batteries charged when you're boondocking and you're away from your shore service. 20-pound propane bottles. They're already full. You've got an automatic regulator in between. That way, if you've got both bottles open, when one runs empty, it's going to automatically switch over to the other bottle, but it does so internally. There's a little post here on the regulator that you can point at one bottle or another, and it will pull from that bottle if it's open. But being as there is no gauge, I'm going to suggest you run one open and run one shut. So when it runs empty, whatever device you had been using stops working. You have to come outside, close the bottle, and then open the other one. So at least you're aware that you're running off of that second propane bottle. You can be a little more conservative with your gas. Start thinking about getting that other bottle filled up. This trailer will also have an external propane port on this side behind the battery box. This is a low pressure service, pre-regulated. It's designed to run a little camping stove or maybe even a little space heater. We're going to come around the corner here. Gross vehicle weight and tire pressure sticker. This is going to be an 80 PSI tire. You want to maintain that pressure for best towing and also best tire wear. Next we'll have the water heater. This is an on-demand water heater. The default for the control panel inside is on when the trailer is turned on. Out here you're going to have a master disconnect switch to disable the unit. You're also going to find a pressure relief valve. That allows us to service the water heater. The water heater is propane fired, so you're going to need some gas in your bottles every time you're wanting to make hot water. And there will also be a hot propane exhaust coming out of here to about a foot. Just bear that in mind and don't block it with anything that's potentially flammable. Below that you'll have a tube to store your sewer hose. That little tube is going to hold a 15-foot collapsible sewer hose. We'll come back here, we've got your outside shower. When you're boondocking and you're not connected to the city water to get water pressure on the outside shower, you do have to turn on the onboard water pump. The city water will feed every faucet in the trailer. So if you're connected to the city, you will already have water pressure here. And again, with that on-demand water heater, the default is on. So if the trailer is powered and one of your propane bottles is open the hot water valve here, and within 10 or 15 seconds, you'll also have hot water out here. City water connection here. Remember, Airstreams have built-in water pressure regulators, so there's no need to add an external water pressure regulator. It's 50 PSI. And it is also plumbed to the onboard water pump. So if the water pressure is very weak, you can turn on the onboard pump and it will boost the pressure at your faucets, but it will not fill the onboard fresh tank. This will feed the water faucets directly. Below that, you've got a waste clean out valve. So when you attach your water hose here, it puts water directly into the black waste tank. That's where the toilet empties, and it's designed to help you flush that one out. Below that, you've got your camp power. This is a 30 amp trailer, 120 volts. This is your short cord, it's 25 feet. These smart plugs have caps. So when you pull the end out of here, you can cap it off, keep dirt and debris out of there while you're stowing it. Back here we have a cable and satellite port. I'm sorry, this one just has a cable port. Now below you've got your waste clean out. There is a light in case you've got to connect at night. Black tank on the right and gray tank on the left. Always begin with the black tank, but before you pull the valve, connect your water hose to the waste clean out and begin to introduce fresh water. It's a gravity drain, so you need the maximum volume of water to help carry all that solid waste out. So I do recommend you fill it as full as you're comfortable. On this trailer, you'll be able to look in the rear window and watch the tank monitor. Fill it up to the top, pull the valve, but you will notice the water comes out of this port much faster than it goes in here due to the size. So when that tank is empty or mostly empty, close the valve and fill it right back up to the top with fresh water. I want you to wash this tank out until it goes from muddy to clear, so it might take 2 or 3 tries, filling and emptying. Once it's clean, close the valve, let a little water back in it so you've got something in there for your chemical to dissolve and diffuse into. Throw that chemical into the toilet, come outside and do the gray tank second. The gray tank is going to have mostly soapy water from your sinks and showers. By doing it second, it'll help wash this pipe out. Do not ever open both valves at the same time. If you do, the black tank will flow into the gray tank. It's going to contaminate it. And do not leave your valves open at your camping site. You'll end up drying the waste tanks out. Coming around the back, on the 20 front bed, we're going to find the fill port for the fresh tank on the back side of the trailer. Remember, this is just a gravity port, so you're just going to stick your water hose in there and fill it up. Just like you're used to. Vent port there on the side is if you overflow it, it will come out of there and not inside the trailer. So it's not going to make a big mess inside, it's just going to come right back out. Cycle through the water in there every 2 weeks to 30 days. After about 2 weeks, the water will begin to taste a little stale, and after about 30 days, it's going to start to smell pretty bad. The drain for the fresh water tank is going to be below, on the side of that silver case there. So you'll see a little white petcock. And if you look in the rear window here, you can see on the wall the tank monitor. Next to the freshwater fill, we've got your outside storage compartment. This is going to be the only outside storage compartment, and in there you're going to see a little 4-way collapsible tire tool and also a propane line that'll fit the port in the front. Around here, we've got the exhaust for the furnace. These furnace exhausts are susceptible to mud daubers. We do sell little screens that you can cover them with that'll keep those bugs out. Next to that, you've got your outside AC plug, just your standard 15 amp. This plug will only work when you're plugged in. This trailer does not come with a built-in inverter. All right, the next thing we're going to do is pull the awning out. This awning has 2 little hook-style travel latches. You want to rotate those out of the way. When you grab the strap, make sure you're pulling away from the trailer and not straight down so you don't accidentally scratch the side with the awning tool. Pull the strap to you. Drop the tool, make sure you've got a hold of the awning itself. Keep pulling until the flap comes out. Grab a hold of it until you can get down here to the arm and place the arm here on the head. Once it's there, push it forward to lock it into place. Just like so. We'll come down here to the other end. Same thing. Now at this point we can start to extend it. You've got 4 of these little notches. You could do up to 2 at a time before the arm starts to bind. I will typically just start with 1. We'll come over here and do 2. So there's 1 and 2. And come back down here and do the last couple. So we got 3 and 4. Now you'll notice I've got the awning at an angle. This is a sunshade, so if you've got the sun low on one side or another, you can tilt the awning to block the sun, but it's not a heavy wind or a heavy rain shade. It's made of aluminum. It's designed to be lightweight, can't take the torque of a heavy wind, and of course a heavy wind is always going to accompany a heavy rain. So if it starts to blow or pour, make sure you've got it folded away. You're going to take the strap, you're going to roll it up on itself. And eventually you'll be able to tuck it into a loop right here. Now, putting it away is just the reverse of bringing it out. So we'll come over here, we're going to drop a couple of notches. Come back over here, same thing. Now, once you've got this one bottomed out, you're going to pull here to release. And you're going to set this arm on the travel rest, and it's just set in place. It doesn't have to be latched. We'll come down to the other end. We'll drop the last notch here. Make sure you've got a hold of it when you pull here to release, so the awning doesn't come rolling in on its own. Again, just set this one in place. And then I'll either grab the flap or maybe just put my hand up top until I can get over to the strap. And if you need to, you can use the tool to return the awning. Always run it in until the fabric connects with the aluminum cover. Let it snap in those last couple inches so it's nice and tight and it doesn't wrinkle. And please make sure you remember to re-engage your travel latches if you're leaving your camping site. If you're staying in the same camping site for several days, you'll be pulling the awning in or out as the day progresses. It doesn't necessarily need to be locked down there, but it must be locked down on the highway. Just like so. All right, we're gonna draw the stabilizers down. Now the stabilizers on these Bambi trailers are way up underneath, and you will need to use the tool to do so. You're gonna find a little threaded rod at the top of the foot. You'll put the tool on there, and then you'll simply crank them down. Remember, these are just stabilizer jacks, so before you draw them down, you need to make sure that you have already leveled the trailer and that you have disconnected the tow vehicle. The tongue jack on this trailer is manual, but if you operate it with the stabilizers down, you're gonna end up putting too much pressure on one end of the trailer or another, and you'll cause these stabilizer jacks to collapse. They're designed to prevent the trailer from rocking. They cannot really support the full weight of the trailer. So run it down until it touches the ground and give it just a little bit of extra pressure. I will typically start in the back, do the 2 rear first, and then I'll do the 2 front. Make sure you bring them up before you leave. If you begin to tow away with these down, you will simply rip them out from under the trailer. So please do not make that mistake. We'll just crank them right back up. Just like that.
Hi everybody, Aaron Vaught, President of Airstream of DFW and Vaught RV Centers. And I just wanted to interrupt this video for a brief moment to thank all of our customers for all the awesome surveys that they have done for us for our service work. In fact, we have a higher score than the factory itself at the moment, so I just wanted to say thank you. And also to announce, because of that success and the success of our same-day service program, we've decided to expand our service center. We're going to double, maybe even triple in size. It's all going to be indoor. A lot of great things coming. But again, it's all about putting customers first in customer service, and cannot wait to show you what all we can bring for all of our Airstream customers. So please come and see us. If you have any questions about our same-day service, or you'd like to make an appointment, just call the number below. We're happy to explain it to you or get you in here and take care of you. Now, back to the video.
So the next thing we'll talk about is the entry door. These entry doors are built in pairs. They need to be closed together. So you can't separate it and just close the screen door to keep the bugs out. But if you slam the main entry door onto that screen door over time, it's going to flatten out and it's no longer going to close properly. So every time you close the doors, make sure you have them paired together. And the reason is you've got a thick rubber gasket and a 2-stage latch. So if you don't close the door hard enough, that second gauge is not going to engage. Typically you can just push it, but the doors were designed to be closed with a little force, just like so. Never leave your key in the door as you're keeping the door all the way open. There's not enough room for it back there and you'll end up denting the side of your trailer. The entry step on this one is very simple. Just lift up, tuck the rear in, pull it back in place. Brian, if you'll follow me inside, I do want to point out, right here we've got a fire extinguisher by the door. You've got a couple of switches here. The lower one is going to be the little step light on the outside, and the upper is for the main ceiling lights in here. Step on in here. You'll kind of have to look around my shoulder. Over here we've got the light for the bedroom. So notice how it doesn't do the reading lights. And then you've got a couple of USB charge ports over there. Around the corner here, in this compartment, we'll find the radio. Remember, that radio can be paired with your phone. To get the table folded away, lift it up, push down the tab on the leg, stow the leg up underneath, and then continue to lift to pull those tabs out of the wall. And then you'll end up pulling the short end of the cushion off here and placing it in the middle to make the bed. Putting it away, you just lift right back up, tuck the tabs into their slots, and draw your table leg down. Here on the wall, we're going to find the furnace control. It's very simple to use. You want to turn the unit itself on, and then you're going to turn the dial up. Remember, the furnace is propane fired. Doesn't light immediately. It's going to take about 10 seconds before it does, but you will be able to also use this when you're boondocking, so it will feed off of just the batteries. When you turn it off, turn the temperature all the way down, and then turn the unit off. And you will note that when we do, continues to run for about 2 minutes. It's got a cool down cycle that you want to let finish before you take the power away from the trailer. On the other side, there is a TV. It's got a built-in DVD player. Below that, you got the refrigerator. The refrigerator is an AC/DC fridge, so if you're plugged into your shore service, it's running off of that AC power. Pull that, and it's going to automatically switch over to DC. Nothing that you need to do to make that happen. This fridge has a little tab keeping the door shut while you tow. You can use that when you're storing it to prop the door open so it doesn't mold or mildew on the inside. This refrigerator takes 2 to 3 hours to get completely cold. Once completely cold, without an external power source, it's going to stay cold all by itself as long as you keep the door shut for an additional 5 or 6 hours. But because it runs on the batteries, you can leave the trailer turned on to power the refrigerator as you're heading down the road. If you do so, I do recommend you turn everything in the trailer off. But again, the most important thing to turn off is the water pump. If you hit a bump hard enough and one of the faucets open, if there's water in your freshwater tank, you'll end up coming inside to a wet trailer. Below that, we've got the battery switch. This trailer is designed to run by bypassing the batteries. What we're doing now is no longer charging the batteries from the shore power, but we will be able to continue the walkthrough, power the air conditioner and everything else directly from the shore service. Next to that, you've got your breaker and fuse box. The GFI reset for all of your plugs is here at the bottom. Over here, you've got several different size fuses. They are listed on the sticker to the right. In between the fuses and the sticker is a little red LED light, so if a fuse blows, that light should shine through the window on the door here to let you know. Over here on the range, I do recommend holding the igniter down before you turn the flame. It lights pretty quickly on this one, just like so. This lid is made of tempered glass, so let it cool before you close it, because if it gets too hot, it could possibly shatter. Below that, this trailer will come with just a plain microwave. Remember, this one's only going to work when you're plugged into your shore service. Up here we have the sea level monitor. That's how you're going to monitor your battery level and also the tank levels. The tank levels are displayed in a percentage. So the fresh tank is 25% full. The gray tank is also 25% full, and the black tank is empty. Notice if I press the button once, within a few seconds that number will disappear. But if you press it twice, you'll get a little dot that'll hold it on there for about 5 minutes rather. So that way you can look in the rear door, rear window, and watch the status of your tanks as you're filling and emptying them. We're also going to find the switch for the onboard water pump here. This is an on-demand water pump. It's going to pressure up and stop. It's not going to come back on until you create a demand. Heading into the bathroom. In the shower, you've got a clothesline that can be stretched across and tightened down. It's going to be good for your bathing suits or your dish towels. Nothing heavy. The seat in here is removable. So you can grab that and pull it out of the way if it's taking up too much space. Come on in here, Brian. See if we can look around the corner here. You do have the light switch here next to the water heater control. Like I was mentioning, the default for the water heater control is on. So if the trailer is powered, the water heater is also powered. You can turn it off by pressing that red button right there. I've got it set to 118 degrees, and that's what most folks are used to coming out of the faucet at. But it is on demand, so all we have to do to get it to come on is create a demand. We're going to get a little indicator that it's working, and when it lights, we'll see a little flame here in the middle. Once the temperature crosses about 110, it should already be starting to get hot. And remember, this will temp up and hold that temp as long as you've got water passing through it and you've got propane in your propane tank. Turns off automatically. Now, flushing the toilet is very simple. There's a lever right in the front. Give it a partial step to fill the bowl. Full step to flush. Remember, your tank chemical is going to go straight down into the bottom of the toilet there. And we'll head back out of here. These have manual vent fans. So these get manually cranked open. And then it's just 3 speeds. 1, 2, and 3. Remember, these are exhaust fans, so they're drawing air out. But this one does not have a rain sensor. So if it starts to rain, you'll need to close it on your own. And I also recommend against towing with these open. The lids are made of plastic, and that wind damage will break them. No sensor to shut it off automatically on this one. So you need to make sure that you've got it turned off. The last thing we're going to go over is the air conditioner. This air conditioner has an optional heat strip. So like a little space heater at home, it's got a little coal inside there that's going to glow. It's going to blow low velocity air across that. It's going to warm the trailer a little bit. So on a slightly chilly day, you can use that to just knock the chill off the air. If it's pretty cold outside, you're going to want to use the propane furnace. So up here, you've got the optional heat. You will need to run the thermostat over to the red to get that to come on. When you want to use the air conditioner, you've got the blue side, and then the gray side over here is going to be the fan by itself. Go ahead and turn that air conditioner on. You've got 5 directions to flow. So this is flowing straight down. We can close that. You can open one end or the other, and of course you can also open the sides. This is going to be the intake. In there is a little screen. You can take that out if you see it's gathered lint or hairs. Clean it off in the sink, shake it dry, and slip it right back into place. That's going to be the end, and thank you for your time.
Thanks for watching our video. If you have any questions or have any recommendations on content you'd like to see, make sure to drop a comment in the comment section below. If you enjoy our content, give us a like and be sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks again from Airstream DFW.